The CEO inherited a beautiful Porsche from her late father, believing it would become the centerpiece of her growing luxury automobile collection. Unfortunately, the sports car had remained completely lifeless for years, despite countless expensive repairs. Every respected engineer declared the engine beyond saving. Finally, disappointed and exhausted, she abandoned the project inside an old warehouse forever. Dust slowly covered the forgotten Porsche, while newer luxury vehicles filled the CEO's impressive showroom. Employees occasionally suggested selling the abandoned car for spare parts, but she always refused. Although worthless mechanically, it carried precious memories of her father. She simply could not bring herself to let the last meaningful connection disappear from her life completely. One rainy afternoon, a humble single dad mechanic arrived, delivering replacement parts for another customer. While waiting, he noticed the neglected Porsche hidden beneath a dusty cover. Curious, he politely asked about the forgotten sports car. Employees laughed, explaining how world-famous engineers had already failed. They insisted nobody could ever repair the mysterious vehicle successfully again. The mechanic quietly walked toward the Porsche and carefully removed the dusty cover. Despite years of neglect, he admired its elegant design and remarkable craftsmanship. Instead of seeing an impossible project, he saw a machine waiting patiently for someone willing to understand its story, rather than simply replacing expensive components without careful observation or genuine mechanical curiosity. The CEO happened to enter the warehouse while he inspected the vehicle. She explained every repair attempt, every failed diagnosis, and every disappointing result. Smiling politely, the mechanic requested permission to examine the Porsche personally. Although skeptical, she agreed, because nobody else believed the forgotten sports car deserved another opportunity after so many unsuccessful years and endless expenses. Unlike previous engineers, he avoided expensive diagnostic computers completely. Instead, he carefully inspected every detail by hand. He checked wiring, fuel lines, electrical connections, suspension components, and hidden compartments. Every movement reflected patience instead of urgency. Employees quietly watched from nearby, wondering why such a simple mechanic ignored modern equipment entirely during his detailed inspection process. While examining the interior, he noticed the carpet beneath the passenger seat felt unusually thick. Carefully lifting it, he discovered a loose metal panel hidden beneath years of accumulated dust. Curious, he gently removed the cover and found a small sealed envelope resting inside a secret compartment never mentioned in previous restoration reports or maintenance records. The yellowed envelope carried the CEO's family name written neatly across the front. Shocked, she admitted she had never seen it before. With trembling hands, she carefully opened the fragile letter. It had been written years earlier by her late father, who clearly anticipated someone eventually discovering the hidden message beneath the Porsche's interior compartment after his passing. Inside the heartfelt letter, her father explained that the Porsche represented more than luxury or speed. It symbolized perseverance, honesty, and family. He confessed hiding an additional clue elsewhere inside the vehicle because he wanted the person repairing it to appreciate patience before receiving the final surprise. Tears quietly filled the CEO's eyes while reading every meaningful word. Encouraged by the letter, the mechanic continued searching carefully. Remembering the father's clues, he examined the rear storage compartment instead of focusing upon the engine. Hidden beneath the spare wheel rested a small leather pouch containing original documents, maintenance notes, wiring diagrams, and handwritten repair observations collected personally by the Porsche's original owner many years before. The handwritten notes described one unusual electrical modification installed decades earlier during a special factory restoration. Every modern engineer unknowingly followed incorrect diagrams, causing repeated confusion during repairs. The father's records clearly identified the forgotten wiring configuration, explaining why advanced diagnostic equipment always produced misleading results, despite every component appearing completely functional during individual testing procedures. The mechanic carefully followed the original handwritten instructions. Rather than replacing expensive parts again, he restored the wiring exactly as documented. He cleaned every connection, secured loose terminals, and corrected one overlooked grounding point hidden behind an interior panel. The repair required remarkable patience rather than extraordinary technology, proving careful observation often surpasses expensive equipment and complicated assumptions. Satisfied with his work, he closed the hood before inviting the CEO to sit behind the steering wheel. Nervously, she inserted the key without expecting success. Taking a deep breath, she slowly turned the ignition. Instantly, the Porsche's engine roared smoothly back to life. The warehouse echoed with applause, as stunned employees celebrated the impossible achievement together joyfully. Unable to believe what happened, the CEO stepped from the vehicle with tears streaming down her face. She hugged the mechanic gratefully before thanking him for restoring more than a valuable automobile. He had revived treasured memories, fulfilled her father's final wish, and reminded her that genuine patience often reveals blessings hidden beneath life's greatest disappointments and challenges. Word spread quickly throughout automotive communities. Journalists arrived, hoping to interview the unknown mechanic who succeeded where celebrated engineers failed. Instead of boasting, he quietly credited the late father's thoughtful letter and careful documentation. True wisdom, he explained, comes from respecting those who understood the machine before assuming modern knowledge always provides every necessary answer. The CEO offered him a generous financial reward along with a prestigious leadership position inside her restoration company. Surprisingly, he accepted only after requesting flexible hours for his young daughter. She admired his priorities immediately, recognizing true success means protecting family while pursuing meaningful work, instead of sacrificing loved ones for endless professional ambition alone. Together, they transformed the neglected restoration division into one of the country's most trusted automotive workshops. Employees embraced humility, teamwork, and careful craftsmanship. Customers traveled long distances seeking honest service instead of empty promises. Every impossible project became an opportunity to learn rather than another reason to surrender before understanding the complete story hidden beneath every vehicle. Months later, the restored Porsche occupied the showroom's central display beneath bright lights. Beside it stood the framed letter written by the CEO's father, inspiring every visitor who read it. The humble single dad never considered himself a hero. He simply believed every machine, every memory, and every person deserved one final chance before being forgotten forever.